Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about treasuries, but not quite in the way that we normally do. You can see that treasuries have been sort of a mainstay of our channel going all the way back to 2022. These are videos that we have made a whole bunch of. But what if I told you that you could have the high yields of long-term treasury bonds, not have to worry about the schedule of Treasury Direct, and still have even greater liquidity than short-term T-bills? Well, that's what we're talking about today with Treasury bond ETFs. Let's go ahead and have a quick look at the Treasury yields right now, direct from the source at Treasury Direct. If we look at the investment rate here on the right, you can see most of these hover somewhere around the 3.75% rate, more or less. Not great, but not terrible. Now that was for the T-bills. If we go ahead and change it to Treasury notes, we hit the 4% rate, a little bit higher than that even. And if we change it one more step all the way up to bonds, here is where we can hit that 5% mark. That tends to be kind of the benchmark for a decent rate on bonds. Now, some of you would love to lock your money in until 2046, getting that 5% rate. And for some of you, that might be your worst nightmare to not see your money again for 20 or even 30 years. So if you're looking to get a yield that's closer to these higher duration bonds, but you want to see your money again before you hit 2050, let me introduce you to the Treasury bond ETFs. Now there's a variety of these. We're looking at Charles Schwab simply because that's what I use to invest, but these can be found on any investment brokerage. So at least on Schwab, there's really three main categories. We have our short-term Treasury ETF, and if we go ahead and scroll down to the distribution yield, that comes out right around 4%. Now, if we change that to the intermediate treasuries and scroll down to the distribution, we are again sitting right around 4%. But if we go all the way up to the long-term Treasury bond ETF, you can see that the yield on this one gets a lot more interesting, coming in at 4.75%. Now this is based on a monthly dividend that we're going to talk about here in just a moment. So obviously this yield can shift a little bit year to year or even month to month, but you can see that that's significantly higher than those shorter term T-bills that we were looking at earlier that would also give you a distribution roughly once a month, or some of them even longer at 6 weeks, 12 weeks, etc. So what exactly is this fund holding? Well, it's holding exactly what it says it is with long-term treasuries. Now, the actual yield on these treasury bonds that it holds varies pretty widely from 4.75% all the way down to some of them being, say, 2%. But the distribution yield on it is fantastic and towards the upper range of what it actually holds. Let's compare this really quick to another popular option for people who want near immediate liquidity with their investments with money market funds. Now here on Schwab, we've talked about this in a fairly popular video, but you can see the yield on these are closer to 3.5%. And so this long-term Treasury bond ETF is paying out significantly more than the money market fund. Another important thing to keep in mind is that the money market fund can only be purchased or sold at the end of a trading day. Now that is not the same case with SCHQ, this long-term bond ETF that can be sold during the day, meaning that it's actually even more liquid for something like, say, an emergency fund. Now, one of the big disadvantages with these Treasury bond ETFs is the fact that there's no set NAV price like there is with the money market fund, which is set at $1, as well as your treasuries, which are frequently being repurchased. And so you really never have to worry with those shorter term T-bills about losing your principal investment. That is not the case with these bond fund. Unfortunately, you can see that they do drop and raise over time. Now, the larger raises and drops in the price of these funds is obviously related to big scale market conditions. We're talking about the Fed interest rates, all of these different big factors that impact yields on treasuries. But the shorter term drops are really just affected by that monthly dividend that I talked about earlier. So let's look at how that works. So unlike buying treasuries directly, where you only receive your money back at the end of the duration of the treasury, when you're buying these ETFs, you receive a monthly dividend. Now, this dividend is what gave us the yield calculated earlier. You can see a similar number on this website right here, with the dividend yield coming out at 4.74%. Now, because it's a monthly dividend, the actual dividend itself is going to be significantly smaller than you might think. You can see in May, for example, it paid out just 11.5 cents per share, which seems like almost nothing, but when you're getting paid out a similar dividend 12 times a year, it does add up to, well, in this case, roughly 4.75%. Now, another important thing to keep in mind when purchasing this ETF is that you'll only receive this dividend if you have purchased the ETF before a certain date. For example, on this May dividend, you can see the record date and the pay date. Now, this record date, also known as the X date, is the date by which you have to have purchased the ETF to then receive your money on the pay date, which in this case was May 7th. Now go ahead and look at the X date as well as the pay date on all of these various payments, and you'll see that the majority of the time the X date is going to be the first or the second day of the month, except for December, which is a little bit different for tax recording purposes. But let's look at what happens with the stock around the X date. Now, if we cut it down to a year instead of the max like we were looking at before, we can see more variation within just the payment dates instead of big long-term trends of bond market yields in general. Now, we can see a lot of the drops in this ETF tend to happen right at the beginning of the month. For example, here in August 2025, you can see a drop right when it turns over to September. Again, here at the end of November of 2025, you can see a drop right as it turns over to December. So why exactly is that? Well, that's because of that X date that we were just talking about. This ETF tends to slowly gain throughout the month as we get closer and closer to the date by which you have to have purchased it to receive your dividend. And then the second we cross over that date, then it drops. This makes sense, otherwise people could just purchase the stock one day before they get the dividend, wait to get the dividend, and then sell it and make tons of money over and over. So obviously there has to be some kind of price difference within the ETF to account for that fact and prevent people from doing that. So that's why we see it slowly rise so that someone can't just buy it 2 days before the X date and still get that full dividend's worth of increase. We can also even see fluctuations within the amount of dividend that's being paid, obviously. So for this upcoming June payment date, you can see that the dividend jumped from about 11.5 cents all the way up closer to 15 cents, which is relatively impactful. So as I'm recording this on May 31st, guess what's happening to the ETF price as we approach that X date? Well, you can see a very sharp increase from the middle of the month as people realize not only are they getting paid out the dividend soon, but they're getting paid out a larger dividend than the month before. That's all for today's video regarding Treasury bond ETFs. I hope you learned something new. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe. If you have any more questions or comments, throw them in the comment section down below. But other than that, we'll see you in the next one.